Michael Landon's final Tonight Show appearance in 1991 is remembered for the way he fought to smile through visible pain. Viewers saw a charismatic actor joking with Johnny Carson, but behind that smile was a man struggling to stay upright. A pair of blood transfusions had taken place only hours before he walked onto the stage. His voice wavered as he talked about tabloid rumors, including a joke he once made about wanting another child that reporters later twisted into something cruel. Even the light-hearted story he told about tricking Carson with a fake Malibu restaurant menu carried a bittersweet tone. He joked to keep the mood alive, but his eyes showed the truth. He was hiding the rapid advance of pancreatic cancer, and the effort it took to sit under the studio lights revealed a man pushing against the limits of his strength. Landon's life began far from Hollywood glamour. Born Eugene Maurice Orowitz on October 31, 1936, in Forest Hills, Queens, he came into the world during the Great Depression. His father, Eli, worked as a publicist and theater manager, while his mother, Peggy, performed under the name Margaret. Money was often scarce, and after Eli lost his job in 1940, the family was forced to move to Hell's Kitchen. The neighborhood was harsh, noisy, and often violent. At school, he faced daily bullying for being Jewish and physically small, leaving him with a lifelong fear of confrontation. A move to South Pasadena at age 11 offered distance from New York's turmoil, but he still felt marked by his birth name. In 1943, he adopted the surname Landon, his mother's maiden name, hoping it would help him blend in. Years later, he admitted that hiding his roots created confusion that followed him into adulthood. Hollywood in the post-war era still pressured Jewish actors to look and sound more American, and he carried the weight of that transformation throughout his career. Life at home brought its own trauma. Peggy struggled with severe mental health issues and often unleashed that pain on her son. She yelled at him, humiliated him when he wet the bed, and at her worst, threatened him with a knife. These experiences left deep emotional wounds that later influenced the roles he chose to play. As an adult, he said that portraying loving fathers helped heal the frightened boy he once was. Sports became his early escape. A talented athlete, he earned a scholarship to USC, only to lose it when he tore a ligament. With his dreams suddenly shaken, he turned to acting. In 1956, with almost no money, he took his first small film role for just $150 and walked miles across Los Angeles to auditions he couldn't afford to bus to. In 1957, his appearance in a low-budget film about a teenage werewolf unexpectedly became a hit, pulling in millions and launching his career. Though he later called the film embarrassing, it brought him national attention. Hollywood's success didn't shield him from hardship. In the late 1950s, he struggled financially and admitted years later that he occasionally stole props from sets and pawned them to pay rent. But everything changed in 1959 when he auditioned for Bonanza. His emotional performance convinced producer David Dortort to cast him as Little Joe Cartwright. For the next 14 years, Landon became a household name, receiving more fan mail than anyone else on the show. Behind the scenes, however, tensions simmered. Conflicts with co-stars, clashing personalities, and his growing desire for creative control led to frequent friction. He directed episodes, wrote scripts, and often battled with producers, developing a reputation for being demanding. His personal life grew complicated as well. Affairs, divorces, and workplace relationships created conflict on set, including a widely whispered fight involving another actor over a romantic entanglement. Though he was beloved on television, his off-screen choices often sparked controversy. When Bonanza ended in 1973, Landon felt lost. But the following year, he found new purpose with Little House on the Prairie. He adapted the books, became the show's star, and directed nearly half the episodes. The series revived his career and solidified his image as America's ideal father figure. Yet even this set was not without turmoil. Long filming days, strict expectations, and conflicts between cast members and producers frequently strained relationships. Young actors sometimes bore the brunt of that pressure, and a child labor complaint in the late 1970s highlighted the intensity behind the show's gentle exterior. Landon continued to push boundaries in his work. He fought network censors when they rejected an interracial kiss in Bonanza, and years later he directed controversial episodes of Little House that touched on sensitive topics like reproductive choice. Some viewers complained, while others praised his willingness to explore difficult themes. His drive for control grew so strong that he sometimes rewrote most of a script in a single night, frustrating writers but maintaining the vision he believed the shows needed. After Little House, he created Highway to Heaven and poured himself into it completely. Acting, producing, and directing every episode took a toll. He invested his own money to keep the quality high, clashed with NBC executives, and eventually won a legal battle to maintain creative control. Yet the emotional and physical demands wore him down. Friends later said they could see the exhaustion in his face, though he rarely admitted how tired he was. By the end of the 1980s, Landon was deeply fatigued. In early 1991, while filming the pilot for a new series, he began experiencing severe abdominal pain. He dismissed it for weeks, assuming it was stress or ulcers. When he finally underwent tests, doctors discovered a large tumor in his abdomen and found that the cancer had already spread to his liver. He finished the pilot anyway, delivering lines about redemption while fighting through agony. Rumors about his health spread quickly. When tabloids printed false claims that he had AIDS, he called a press conference at his Malibu home and revealed his true diagnosis. Support poured in from fans across the country. On May 9th, he appeared on The Tonight Show, where he told jokes, shared memories, and tried to keep the audience laughing. Yet the strain in his voice and the sadness beneath his humor made the moment unforgettable. Behind his words was the knowledge that time was running out. 53 days later, on July 1, 1991, he died at home surrounded by family. He whispered that he was afraid as he took his final breaths. He was only 54. The funeral drew nearly 1,000 mourners. Though he had spent years portraying strength and optimism, his final moments showed a man who allowed himself to be human, vulnerable, and honest. His legacy continued long after. His family founded a charitable organization, his final interviews inspired discussions about pancreatic cancer, and The Tonight Show appearance became one of the most viewed and revisited moments of his career. Letters he wrote near the end revealed that he sensed he wouldn't live past the summer of 1991. Even as he faced the inevitable, he tried to keep creating, keep laughing, and keep comforting the people who loved him. Behind every character he played and every story he told was a lifetime of hardship, resilience, and a search for the family and peace he never truly had as a child.